We will also be joined by former Houston City Council member Dr. Letitia Plummer, who will discuss her run for Harris County Judge.
And I'm Celestia Sherman. Plus, Dr. Sherma Morton, the National Medical Director at Eleanor Health, will join us to discuss Sober October and why it's important for reflecting on alcohol and substance use.
Also, we want to hear from you, so give us a call or text us 713-440-8870 or email us at talk@hellohouston.org. You can also watch us on YouTube by going to HoustonPublicMedia.org.
Hello Houston is made possible in part by founding sponsors John Bradshaw and Kathy Sanders, and by gifts from listeners like you.
Live from NPR News, I'm Lakshmi Singh. The U.S. Supreme Court is weighing arguments it heard today in a case that challenges the last major provision of the 1965 Voting Rights Act. This provision is intended to ensure minority voters don't get shut out when new congressional districts are being drawn up. Here's NPR's Nina Totenberg.
When the law was passed in 1965, there were just 12 minority House members. Today, there are 134 Black, Hispanic, and Asian American House members. That could change, however, if the court removes the guardrails to redistricting that it endorsed as recently as 2 years ago. Indeed, if the conservative court majority either nullifies the redistricting provision of the law or makes it much more difficult to enforce, Democrats could lose as many as 19 congressional seats, putting control of the House effectively out of reach for the foreseeable future. Nina Totenberg, NPR News, Washington.
About 30,000 nurses and other frontline medical personnel are on strike against Kaiser Permanente, one of the country's largest not-for-profit health networks. Unionized employees in California, Oregon, and Hawaii hit the picket lines yesterday to demand a 25% pay hike. Kaiser Permanente is proposing a 21.5% hike over 4 years. The company says during this week's strike, some elective surgeries and procedures will be rescheduled, but health clinics and hospitals will remain open. Israeli hostages and Palestinian detainees freed in the Gaza ceasefire deal this week are sharing details about their treatment while they were held. NPR's Daniel Estrin reports from Tel Aviv.
Israeli medical staff say freed hostages are in better health than expected. One suffered an eye injury. Some said they were starved and shackled. Former hostage Yair Horn saw his brother freed now and thanked President Trump.
Thanks to you, I'm standing here today, and thanks to you, my little brother is finally home.
One family said the Israeli military bombarded close to where their son was held in the final days of the war. In Gaza, journalist Islam Ahmad was detained in Israel for about 10 months. He told NPR he was beaten and lost about 30% of his body weight. Other freed Palestinians showed signs of abuse and malnutrition. Daniel Estrin, NPR News, Tel Aviv.
NPR has obtained a memo in which Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth orders all personnel to watch his recent address to U.S. military leaders from around the globe. During the address, Hegseth lectured highly experienced senior military officials on the warrior ethos. News of the memo comes as Hegseth has attempted to impose a strict new policy on the Pentagon press corps. News outlets, including NPR, have rejected the policy. From Washington, this is NPR News.
Live from News 88.7 in Houston, I'm Matt Harab. There are still questions about a threat from Governor Abbott to remove political messages on Texas roads. In Houston, the Rainbow Crosswalk in the Montrose area has been a hot topic. Abbott has said if it's not removed, some local funding from the Texas Department of Transportation could be lost. In response, Houston Metro says they will remove it. Nancy Sims is a University of Houston political science professor. She told Houston Matters a few hours ago it's unclear what qualifies as a political message.
The governor is attacking the rainbow crosswalks, but there are many roadside murals and varieties of representations along roads, the crosses that are set up on the highway between Houston and Austin. So does everything now fall into that category?
Harris County Attorney Christian Menefee has threatened to sue the state over Abbott's action. Now, during this morning's city council meeting, Mayor John Whitmire called the governor's call to remove the rainbows, quote, counterproductive in his first comments about the situation. He added that he has been in talks with LGBTQ few groups from around Houston as the issue intensifies. Harris County has filed a lawsuit against the Environmental Protection Agency after the Trump administration clawed back nearly $250 million for solar programs across the state. Here's our Sarah Grunow.
The lawsuit, filed in district court in Washington, D.C. on Monday, asserts that the administration violated federal statutes and the U.S. Constitution by rescinding funding already earmarked for the Solar for All program. Harris County Attorney Christian Menefee says that the Trump administration signed an executive order earlier this year to end the Biden-era program.
So what the EPA did here is just wrong. But it wasn't just that. It was unlawful. And it was pretextual. They never supported this program, so they made up a justification for killing it.
Harris County was one of 60 recipients across the U.S. that received grant funding for Solar for All, which was designed to save thousands of dollars for low-income households by expanding access to clean energy. I'm Sarah Grunow, News 88.7.
81 degrees right now here on the UH campus. I'm Matt Harrop, News 88.7.
Support for NPR comes from NPR stations. Other contributors include Fisher Investments. As a fiduciary, Fisher Investments is obligated to act in their client's best interest. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss. This is NPR.
Live from the University of Houston, it's Hello Houston, an open forum on today's biggest stories affecting Houston and beyond. Call now, 713-440-8870, or let us know your thoughts on today's topics by emailing us at talk@hellohouston.org. Now here's your host for Hello Houston, Ernie Manous, Celeste Diaz-Sherman, and Frank Billingsley.
Happy Wednesday.
We were almost caught off guard at the top of the show because we're dealing with something very serious here, a menu for Celeste's 40th birthday party celebration.
Yep. You know, it only happens once, and I have to tell you.
Well, in your case.
Touche.
I already said 3 or 4.
I had quite a few in the 40s.
You know, I really do. Ever since I was 9 years old, I can remember.
Wanting to be 40?
No, I can remember getting the birthday blues. And so I get kind of nervous around my birthday. And this year, it's the
birthday blues?
I get the birthday blues.
At least you're vertical.
Well, that's true.
That's all that matters.
That is, you are absolutely, You are absolutely right, Frank. And so now it is one of those things where, you know, 2 years ago, I had a friend pass away. Last year, we had another friend. And you know what? And I had a family member. And so Dan and I were talking about this. And we're like, you know what? We need to celebrate.
Every day's a blessing.
Well, as my mom always says, as she continues to get older, she doesn't say it anymore, but considering the alternative, she'd rather get older.
You don't want to push up daisies.
She's lived up to it.
You know, the hard part about 40 is you're still at that age where you have so many friends on either side of 40.
Yes.
You know, probably have friends that are 25, and you have friends that are 65.
Right.
So how in the world do you pare it down to the 4 people you love best? I mean,
well, 2 of them are sitting right here in the room with her. It makes it very easy. But your birthday's not for a few weeks.
It's not for a few weeks.
We don't have to rush you
November.
to 40
We don't
yet.
have to rush me. I'm still very much in my 30s.
Speaking of which, oh, God. Okay, we'll move on from IQs. Let's go to what's the date today?
Today is 10/15/2025.
So I have a question. Have y'all ever heard of 1015 onions? They were, I think, developed by Texas A&M. You know the Vidalia onion out of Georgia that's so sweet and good? The 1015 was developed out of A&M as an alternative, as a sweet onion, and they were ready on October 15th, and they're called 1015s.
Oh, that's
But
cool.
you know what? Somebody's going to have to YouTube us on this. We love our YouTubers.
We do love our
because
YouTubers.
I don't know. I looked for them the other day at Central Market, and I didn't see any 1015s, but they may not be out until today.
Yeah.
But they're like Vidalias. I know, but I don't know what happened to the
I love onions. Like I love a good, like those glazed, or not glazed, what is it? Like the sauteed onions, the soft one, caramelized.
Perfect.
Caramelized onions.
Okay, I don't want to harp on this, but
harp away.
Guess what Key West is doing? Painting. Have you ever been to Key West?
Yes.
It's all these Victorian homes and all these cute little fences.
Love it.
They're painting their fences partially in the rainbow colors.
Really?
Because, their rainbow crosswalks were painted over, and they're like, you know what? We'll paint our porches. We'll paint our fences, our fence entrances. We can paint whatever we want to paint as long as we own it, and that's what they're doing to
Just
fight
a point,
back.
a reminder from yesterday, we mentioned it too. Fences, that's your property.
Yep.
You can paint that. Sidewalks, you cannot paint.
Chalk.
You can chalk them because it's not permanent.
Yep.
So don't get confused. I was looking over at YouTube when you folks mentioned YouTube, and Alex Garza asked, Ernie, I heard something today that MTV is going away. Is that true? And I got bad news for you. MTV is ending its run as a music television network on December 31st, 2025.
So explain this to me. So MTV is still technically around?
What is MTV?
No,
Yes.
no.
Yeah, MTV.
No, I know what MTV, but VH1.
Yeah, it's still a channel.
VH1 went away.
Video Hits 1.
Video Hits 1, and then there's MTV.
Yeah.
And it's gone.
Did
MTV Music, MTV 80s, MTV 90s, Club MTV, and MTV Live are all going away.
I went to high school with Alan Hunter.
Oh, really?
He was a senior when I was a sophomore.
One of the VJs.
He was one of the original three.
Mm-hmm.
He was the cute blonde. And I remember seeing him later in life, not that much later, but like when we were in college. And I saw him at a bar. And I said, you know what? I used to